Cecilia's life took a drastic turn at 42 when she became a widow. Her husband Simon died tragically after a fight with his brother. Cecilia was left to raise their only child, Ada, on her own. She faced many emotional and financial difficulties, but made sure Ada had a decent upbringing. Ada was a hard-working and respectful child. When Ada turned 19, her mother's health began to deteriorate due to stress and untreated health problems. Cecilia was unable to provide the good life she had promised, as her health did not permit. Despite her youth, Ada took on the responsibility of caring for her mother and providing for them. She sold oranges gathered from their farm to put food on the table. Their bond grew stronger as they faced these challenges together, with Ada managing the duties of looking after her mother. One stormy evening, Ada was returning home from the pharmacy, where she had gone to get medication for her mother. The rain poured non-stop, making visibility difficult on the desolated road. Suddenly, Ada spotted a car running off the road and crashing into a tree. She stopped her bicycle and ran toward the scene of the accident. Inside, she found an unconscious man, bleeding and calling for help. Ada ran along the road, seeking assistance from anyone passing by, but no one stopped. Realizing there was no time to waste, she immediately rode her bike back to the pharmacy where she had bought her mother's medication. She pleaded with the chemist, a kind man named Mr. Peter, explaining the serious situation. Mr. Peter agreed to help and followed her back to the scene of the accident on his tricycle, bringing along a first aid kit. When they arrived, Mr. Peter quickly assessed the man's condition and started treatment. He managed to stop the bleeding and stabilize the man, who was still unconscious. Mr. Peter then advised that the man be moved to a safer place where he could rest and recover. Worried about the cost of the treatment, Mr. Peter asked Ada how he would get paid. She assured him that once the man woke up, they could sort out the payment, but for now, his safety and recovery were the priority. Understanding the urgency, Mr. Peter nodded and suggested they take the man to Ada's home, explaining that the village hospitals were closed at that late hour and wouldn't accept anyone without a deposit, which neither of them had. With Mr. Peter's help, Ada carried the injured man to her home. They laid him down on the old but clean sofa in her living room. Cecilia, who was sitting on the sofa, watched with curiosity as they carried him into the parlor. Mr. Peter instructed Ada on how to care for the man when he woke up before he left. Ada, in a scared tone, went to her mother, knelt beside her, and began to speak. "I'm so sorry for bringing a strange man into our home. I didn't know what else to do. He was bleeding and calling for help. I couldn't just leave him there." Cecilia held her daughter's hand and reassured her. "You did nothing wrong, my dear. Helping someone in need is never wrong. I'm proud of you for having the courage to do what you did, and I'm relieved you involved Mr. Peter." Ada felt a wave of relief wash over her and thanked her mother for being the most understanding in the world. She then gave her mother the drugs she had bought. Cecilia, knowledgeable about herbal medicine from her healthier days, instructed her daughter on what to do to help the man recover quickly. Ada listened attentively as her mother explained, "Go to the farm tomorrow morning and find a plant with broad green leaves. Pluck a few leaves, wash them thoroughly, crush them to extract the juice, and mix it with warm water. Have him drink it and use the remaining juice to massage his body. It will help cleanse his system and speed up his healing." Ada nodded, committing every detail to memory. "I'll do that, Mum. Thank you." With her mother's guidance, Ada felt a renewed sense of purpose. She returned to the living room where the young man lay, still unconscious but breathing steadily. She checked on him and then went to her mother's room to sleep. As dawn approached, Ada went outside to the garden. She found the plant her mother had described, carefully plucked several leaves, washed them, crushed them, and mixed the juice with warm water, pouring it into 2 containers and setting it aside for when the man woke up. Hours later, the young man began to stir. Ada rushed to his side, her heart pounding. His eyes opened, and he looked around disoriented. "Where am I?" he asked. "You're safe," Ada assured him. "You had an accident and we brought you here to recover. My name is Ada." Ada rushed out to bring the mixture her mother had instructed her to make. "Drink this. It will help you feel better." The man sipped the concoction and managed to finish it. Ada massaged his body with the remaining mixture. Curious about who they had taken in, Cecilia asked the young man his name and where he was going before the accident. He introduced himself as Dunban Alfredo. Cecilia interrupted him after hearing his surname. "Alfredo? Who is your father?" "Timothy Alfredo is my father," he replied. Both mother and daughter were shocked. "Chief Alfredo is your father?" Cecilia asked in disbelief. Dunban wasn't surprised that everyone knew his father, but not him, as he rarely visited the village or stayed in Nigeria. Dunban Alfredo was the only son and heir of Timothy Alfredo, one of the wealthiest men in the country. Cecilia continued, "So that good man is your father?" She inquired where he was going before the accident, and he explained he was on his way to visit a property he owned. Cecilia's constant questioning and concern reminded Dunban of his late mother, making him smile. Cecilia and Ada felt privileged to have the son of a billionaire in their home. Dunban, expected to move with security wherever he went, had been alone. He stayed in their house for 3 days until he regained his strength. Before leaving, Dunban thanked them for their kindness, despite not knowing who he was. He appreciated their help with a sum of 100,000 naira and assured them he would return. Ada saw him off to where his car was being repaired, and he couldn't stop thanking her. Meanwhile, Dunban's father, Timothy Alfredo, was deeply worried about his son's disappearance. They hadn't communicated since Dunban informed him of his plans to visit the village to inspect some properties before flying to Turkey. The lack of communication for 3 days and his son's unknown whereabouts consumed Mr. Alfredo with concern. Finally, that evening, Dunban walked through the door, looking weary but safe. He explained everything to his father, recounting the accident and how a kind family in the village had taken him in and cared for him. Mr. Alfredo listened intently, relief washing over him. Mr. Alfredo was profoundly grateful to hear that someone from the village had helped his son. He decided to meet the family who had shown such kindness and compensate them for their generosity. Mr. Timothy Alfredo was a formidable businessman, known for his sharp intelligence, strategic decision-making, and impressive achievements. His career was characterized by success and excellence. However, he was also known for his philanthropy and dedication to helping those in need. To show his gratitude, Mr. Alfredo and his son Dunban arranged to visit Ada and Cecilia. He wanted to personally thank them and ensure their good deeds were recognized. Arriving at their modest home, Mr. Alfredo expressed his heartfelt appreciation. "Ada, Cecilia, I cannot express how grateful I am for what you did for my son. Your kindness and bravery in helping a stranger in need are truly remarkable. I owe you a debt of gratitude that cannot be measured." Ada and Cecilia were overjoyed by the presence of such a prominent figure in their home, but were deeply moved by his words. "It was the right thing to do," Ada replied humbly. "We couldn't just leave him there. We're just glad he's safe." Mr. Alfredo smiled warmly. "Your actions have restored my faith in humanity. As a token of my appreciation, I would like to support you both in any way I can. Please let me know if there's anything you need or any way I can help improve your lives." Cecilia, with a humble and grateful heart, spoke first. "Mr. Alfredo, my daughter Ada has always been bright and full of potential. However, our financial situation has made it difficult for her to pursue her education further. If you could help her with her studies, it would mean the world to us." Ada added, "My mother has been battling with her health for a long time. I would appreciate it if you could offer her access to a better medical center so she can be strong and healthy." Mr. Alfredo nodded with a smile. "Consider it done. I will make sure Ada has all the resources she needs to continue her education, and I will arrange for the best medical care for you, Cecilia." True to his word, Mr. Alfredo took swift action. He arranged for Ada to be enrolled in one of the best universities in the city, covering all her tuition fees and living expenses. Additionally, he hired a reputable medical team to provide Cecilia with comprehensive health care, ensuring she had access to the treatments and medications she needed. Over the months that followed, Ada's life transformed. She immersed herself in her studies, driven by the opportunity that Mr. Alfredo had provided. Meanwhile, Cecilia's health began to improve with the consistent medical attention and care she received. During this time, Dunban, grateful for the kindness Ada and her mother had shown him, stayed in touch with Ada. They met on several occasions, often talking about their shared experiences and future aspirations. Ada found herself increasingly drawn to Dunban's warmth and sincerity, while Dunban admired Ada's resilience and compassion. As their friendship deepened, Dunban's feelings for Ada grew stronger. He found himself thinking about her often, appreciating her kindness and intelligence. One evening, during a walk in a nearby park, Dunban decided to share his feelings. "Ada," he began, slightly nervous but determined. "These past few months have been incredible. Your kindness and strength have left a deep impression on me. I realize that I have strong feelings for you, more than just friendship. I wanted to tell you because you deserve to know how much you mean to me. I really do love you and enjoy your company. I would appreciate it if you give us a chance." Ada felt her heart race. She had also developed feelings for Dunban, but hearing him express his emotions brought a mix of joy and relief. "Dunban, I feel the same way. Your friendship has been a source of strength for me, and I can't imagine my life without you in it." Their relationship blossomed from that moment. They supported each other through the ups and downs of life, growing closer with each passing day. Ada's dedication to her studies and Dunban's support and encouragement strengthened their bond. After graduating with honors, Ada pursued a career in environmental science, driven by a passion for sustainable development and conservation. With Mr. Alfredo's support and Dunban's unwavering belief in her, she quickly made a name for herself in her field. Dunban, inspired by Ada's drive and ambition, decided to join her efforts. He utilized his business acumen, honed from his father's influence, to support various environmental projects and initiatives. Together, they worked on numerous projects, blending Ada's scientific expertise with Dunban's strategic skills. Their professional partnership flourished, but more importantly, so did their love. They got married in a small, heartfelt ceremony, surrounded by close friends and family, including Mr. Alfredo and a now healthier Cecilia. Years later, Ada and Dunban continued to make a significant impact in their field, advocating for sustainable practices and environmental conservation. Their journey, which began with an act of kindness, had come full circle, highlighting the power of compassion, resilience, and love. They built a life together, filled with purpose and shared dreams, leaving a lasting legacy that echoed the values instilled by their parents and their own unwavering commitment to making the world a better place. Thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed the story. See you all in the next episode. P.S. Subscribe, like, and share. Bye-bye.